Hey guys, so today we'll be learning how to solve the square one. So the square one is a slightly different puzzle from the regular Rubik's Cube, and let's see the basics of the square one. So this is a regular corner and this is an edge, but what's different is this center, which is called the equator. It's not called the centerpiece, it's called the equator. So you have one big side of the equator, so it can rotate like this. You can't rotate it 90 degrees, you have to make a 180 degrees turn on the equator when you're turning the slice like this. So having said that, let's get onto the notations. So this 180 degrees turn which I just showed you like this, it's called a slash. You will see it on the screen. So this is called the slash. Now each edge accounts for 1 and each corner accounts for 2. So if the notation goes slash 5 slash, let's see, slash, and this will be 2. So this is 1, this is 1, and if I add this corner as well, this will be 1 plus 2, so that will be 3. So this is going to be 1. So if someone says slash 3 slash, so that's slash 3 slash. And if someone says slash 3 negative 3 slash, so slash 3 and then negative 3 from the bottom, so it goes counterclockwise, so 2 and 3 and slash. So that's the basics of the puzzles. Now there's some algs that are going to be generally used in the solve, so I will just show you those algs. So first one is to switch this equator around and flip it. So let's check that out. So the algorithm for that is slash 6 slash 6 slash 6, and that just flips this and misaligns it, and it does absolutely nothing else to the rest of the cube. So again, slash 6 slash 6 slash 6. So another alg that we would frequently use is the layer switch alg, and for that alg, what that alg does is switch this layer and this layer around, and that is very useful in many of the cases that we are going to learn later. So for this you use slash 6 and 6 from the bottom slash, and then you just align, and what it does is switches these two, just switches these two around. So again, slash 6 6 slash, and you can see those are switched back again. So that is a pretty useful alg. Now we'll just go on to the scrambling part, and once I scramble it, I'll be back and we'll learn how to solve the square one. So once you have the cube scrambled, it will look something like this, or big, and the shapes will be different. It will not be a cube shape. So what you need to do is you need to find a group of 2 edges together on the top layer. If you don't have any, you can just slice and bring 2 adjacent edges on the top, and once you have them like this, you need to find another group of 2 like this, and what you need to do is try to connect this with the other that is down here or somewhere else on the puzzle. And if it's not there, you just have to move things around. It's a pretty intuitive step, and you just need to move things around to get these groups of 2. So I can just easily match these up, and now I have 4. Now what we have to do is extend this group of 4 into a group of 6, and I see another group of 2 down there at the bottom, and I will just try to connect this to this, and it easily connects like this. Now what you do is when you have this group of 6, it can be 3 cases at the bottom, of which this is the first case, which is the worst case. This is the L case, you could call it, or the adjacent edge on the bottom case. So what you need to do for this is just keep it like this. So the 6 edges are split on either side of the slice, 4 on the left side and 2 on the right. And what you need to do is slice through that like this. So now you have 5 like this, and you have this group of 2 at the bottom. You need to put this at the back like this. Now you need to bring this over to here and just slice it back up, and you get your 6 edges together again. But what happens on the bottom is you get this easier line case, which is the second case. It's a much easier case, so you get this line case. You do slice it to the top, which is pretty easy. So there's another case which you can get. Let me see if I can set it up. Yep, this is the third case which you can get, and in this you have a group of 6 on the top and just a group of 2. It can be anywhere on the bottom. Suppose it's here. What you need to do is just bring it in line and just slice up and connect it to the top. And now up till now it was pretty intuitive. Now we get into the step where we will use our first algorithm. So for this, what you need to do is you need to hold all of these group of 8 edges in the front, and then you put it in such a way that 4 are on the left side and 4 on the right side. Now this algorithm, what it does is brings the square back to a cube shape, which is our first target. So what you do is you keep 4 on the left, 4 on the right, and then you do this algorithm. So it's slash -2 -4 slash -1 -2 slash -3 -3 slash, and you see we got it into a cube shape, which was our first target. So our second step is to put all the yellow corners on the top. So we already have 2 over here. Now again, this step is pretty intuitive, but the only thing that you have to just take care of is you do not need to just slice it over like this, because it will spoil the cube shape that we just worked on. What you do is just keep one edge on the left of the equator, then you can just play it around and see how you get all the yellow corners on top. So in this case, I can see I have a yellow 2 edges in yellow corners. I can put this edge over here and bring this on top. Now I have 3 on the top. Now what I can do is keep it over here, and I can just put this back down, and this will come up and join up with this, as you can see. And now I have this at the bottom. Now I can repeat that same thing, and I have the yellow on top and the white on the bottom. And that's the second step, which is orienting the corners of the top and bottom face. So the third step that we need to do is to put all the yellow edges on top and the white edges on the bottom. In this case, we just have 1 white edge on the top. There can be up to 3, or maybe I'm not sure, but there could be 4 yellow white edges on the top as well. So we have this case where there's just 1. So the algorithm for this is we just keep the edges that need to be swapped on the right hand side. So just put it on top of each other like this, and then the algorithm goes 1 slash -3 from the bottom slash -3 from the bottom slash -1 from the top, -1 from the bottom slash 1 from the top, 3 from the bottom slash 3 from the bottom slash, and that just swap this and this. Now if you have more than 1 edges, you just need to repeat the algorithm by keeping the unsolved edges on the right hand side. So this was the step that was required to solve all the edges of the square one. And now we need to just do some permutations and maybe parity at the end. So let's go on to the next step. So the next step is to permute the corners of the top and the bottom face. As you can see, these are unoriented. So what we do is look for headlights. First for the top face, if we don't have headlights, it means there is a diagonal corner swap, and if we find headlights, it's an adjacent corner swap. So in this case, on the top we don't have any headlights. That means it's a diagonal corner swap. So for the diagonal corner swap, you just hold the square one from any, like you can keep any of the corners in front, and the algorithm that we are going to use is slash 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom, slash 3 from the top, slash, and we are going to repeat this 3 times. So let's go again. 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom, slash 3 from the bottom, top, slash, 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom, slash. And now we have all the corners on the top face permuted. Now as you can see, the bottom face is still not, the bottom corners are still not solved. So one thing you can do is you can just rotate it around, but these will be really uncomfortable moves. So we'll use the alg that we learned in the beginning, the layer swap alg, which goes slash 6 from the top, 6 from the bottom, slash. Now we can have solve this white face on the top. So here we have got a pair of headlights, which means that there is going to be an adjacent swap. So for what you do for the adjacent swap is you keep these headlights at the back, and after keeping them at the back you can just use this alg slash 3 -3 slash 3 from -3 from the top, slash 3 from the bottom, slash -3 from the bottom, slash 3 from the bottom, slash, and that will solve the corner of the top layer. Now we'll be moving on to one of our final steps. So the last step in solving the square one is permuting the corners of the top and bottom layer. So we are going to use an algorithm for this, and what you need to do is you need to keep the edges on the right and back, and they will be swapped, and also on the bottom layer as well. So if I keep it like this and apply the algorithm, these two will be swapped and these two will be swapped. So we need to keep such edges that we get a better position. So if I keep these two on the top on the right hand side and the back side, orange is gonna come here, which is going to solve the orange, and the red is gonna go here, but we don't care about that, we'll solve that later. Now if we keep these two over here, that the green will go over here, which will spoil the blue, so we don't want that. We can switch it around. Now if the red goes here, it doesn't matter what happens over here. If the green comes over here, it's gonna solve the green. We can keep these two over here, but what that will do is the red will go over here and create an opposite edge swap, which we don't want. We want adjacent edge swap, so we can solve it easily later. So we can keep these two at the right and the back. So when red comes here, it will be solved, and the orange will go here, which will create an adjacent edge swap later. So what we'll do is keep this on the right and this at the back, and I already told you about these two. So the algorithm that we are going to use is -2 slash 3 slash -1 from the top, -1 from the bottom, slash -2 from the top, 1 from the bottom, slash. And as you can see, we have an adjacent edge swap at the bottom, and we have 3 unsolved edges at the top. So once again, I can keep these two over here on the right side and the back side, and these two will be switched and they will be solved. And here we can again look to avoid the opposite edge swap. That's the best thing that we can do at this stage. So if these two are swapped, the green comes here and the red is solved, but it creates an opposite edge swap, which we don't want. If we keep these two at the right and the back side, green comes over here, which solves the green, and blue comes over here, which doesn't really matter. We can do it at the end because it will be an adjacent edge swap. So we keep these two at the back, these two will be at the back, so that they can be solved, and we do use the algorithm again. So it's -2 slash 3 slash -1 -1 slash -2 1 slash. So we have these two remaining now. This is solved, and for most cases you get the square one solved by this stage. But again, this dreaded parity, this is parity, and how you would solve this is, so what the algorithm for parity does is it switches these two and it flips around the equator. So consider if the equator was already switched around like this, so the algorithm would flip these two, swap these two, and align this equator with the rest, which is not really a big problem, but that's what this alg does. So this is quite a big alg, and it's not very easy to memorize at the beginning, but you will get it if you just practice over and over again and just memorize it by looking at the square root instead of just learning it all the way. So keep the two edges to be swapped in the front and this misaligned equator at the front, and the algorithm that you are going to use is slash -3 from the top, slash 3 from the bottom, slash -3 from the bottom, slash 3 from the bottom, slash. Then you get this barrel shape at the top and the kite on the bottom, and then you do 2 from the top, slash, then you do 2 from the bottom, slash, then you undo the 2 from the top, that's -2, slash, then you do 4 from the top, slash, then you do -1 from the top, sorry, you do -2 from the bottom, slash, 2 from the bottom, slash, you do -1 from the top, and -4 from the bottom, sorry, that's 4, not -4, you do slash, you do -3 from the bottom, and you do slash, and that solves the square one. So that was the long parity alg, but you need to memorize it because it comes quite often in square one solves. So that was all about the square one. If you are having any problems, just leave a comment down below and give me suggestions on how to improve my videos. I'll be checking the comments out and I'll be replying to them, and I'll take all the criticism in a positive manner. So just leave your thoughts down below on this video, and yeah guys, I'll be meeting you in my next video. So bye.